Welcome back to Casual Crime, the channel where we delve deep into the riveting, chilling, and sometimes baffling world of true crime. Today we'll be unmasking a truly sinister case that shattered the serenity of sunny Florida. A case with a strange, eerie twist that continues to intrigue true crime aficionados till this day. The mysterious killer clown case. But before we begin, please note that we'll be discussing a real-life event with graphic details. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. Let's transport ourselves back to the morning of May 26, 1990. Picture a peaceful, upscale neighborhood in Wellington, Florida. It's the kind of place where neighbors chat across their manicured lawns, children play freely on the streets, and an air of tranquility generally prevails. At 10:45 a.m. on this particular morning, a strange figure appeared on the scene. A white Chrysler LeBaron pulled up to a particular house. Out stepped a clown, complete with a bright orange wig, red bulbous nose, and a painted-on smile. A strange sight, no doubt, but it was about to turn much, much darker. This clown wasn't here for laughs. In his hands were two seemingly innocent items, a bouquet of flowers and two balloons. One of the balloons interestingly read, "You're the greatest." The clown rang the doorbell. The woman who opened the door was met not with the merriment typically associated with clowns, but with cold-blooded violence. As soon as she exclaimed, "Oh, how nice!" when handed the balloons, the clown raised the gun and fired a devastating shot at point-blank range before calmly walking back to the car and driving away. In its wake, the clown left a chilling scene of horror, a devastated family, and a mystery that would baffle investigators for decades to come. The cheerful facade of the clown had masked a killer's cruel intent, and the quiet town of Wellington was left grappling with a tragedy that defied belief. The woman who found herself at the receiving end of this horrific crime was Marlene Warren, an accomplished businesswoman and a loving mother. Marlene was known for a friendly demeanor, a passion for antiques, and a strong, endearing spirit. At the time of the tragedy, she was living with her son, Joey, in a beautiful home in an upscale neighborhood in Wellington. Marlene was a respected figure in her community, known to be an extremely hard worker who managed a successful car rental agency with her husband. However, behind the scenes, personal life was not as rosy as it appeared. Friends and family knew that her marriage had hit a rocky patch, and she had confided in some about her intention to handle the issues. On that fateful morning, when she answered the door to the unexpected visitor, Marlene was merely anticipating a friendly jest or perhaps a surprise gift. No one could have predicted the horror that was about to unfold, as she would die 2 days later. With a crime scene that seemed straight out of a twisted horror film, local law enforcement began their investigation. The Palm Beach County Sheriff's Department responded to the harrowing 911 call. They arrived at a surreal scene, a household in shock, a life abruptly ended, and peculiar props of a clown costume. In the immediate aftermath, detectives worked to make sense of the seemingly senseless act. Why would someone dressed as a clown commit such a horrifying crime? The costume indicated premeditation and a desire to conceal identity, but also hinted at a killer with a flair for the dramatic. And yet, the absence of any overt threats or known enemies to Marlene made the act all the more baffling. Investigators quickly collected the available evidence. Witnesses described the clown's costume, the strange gifts it carried, and the white Chrysler LeBaron it drove away in. Strikingly, the vehicle matched the description of a car reported stolen from a local rental agency a month prior. As the hunt for the killer clown began, the police received an anonymous tip pointing towards a local costume shop. Store employees remembered a woman purchasing a clown costume around the time of the crime, but could not positively identify the buyer. The puzzle was complex, and the pieces didn't quite fit together. Meanwhile, detectives started to peel back the layers of Marlene's life, and what they found pointed to a series of potential motives and suspects closer to home. As investigators turned their focus onto the personal and professional relationships in Marlene's life, they discovered a web of intrigue potentially leading to motives for her shocking murder. The first person of interest was none other than Marlene's husband, Michael Warren. The couple, as it turned out, was not as happily married as they appeared to be. Marlene's friends shared that she had expressed concerns about her husband's fidelity. But was a troubled marriage enough to lead to such a brutal crime? Marlene was not the only person who attracted the attention of the investigators. There was another key figure, a woman named Sheila Keene. Sheila worked for Michael, repossessing cars for his rental agency. Rumors started circulating that she was more than just an employee to Michael. They were supposedly having an affair. In an intriguing turn of events, Sheila also happened to match the vague description given by the costume shop employees of the woman who bought a clown costume around the time of the murder. While the circumstances were suspicious, the authorities didn't have enough evidence to make an arrest. They found themselves in a vexing position. They had two main suspects and a handful of circumstantial evidence, but nothing solid enough to tie either individual to the crime. The case was teetering on the edge of turning cold. As weeks turned into months and months turned into years, the chilling murder of Marlene Warren remained unsolved. The leads seemed to have dried up, and the vibrant media interest slowly faded into occasional grim reminders of the case that had once captivated the nation. Despite the countless hours spent by detectives chasing leads, interviewing suspects, and examining evidence, they could not find the definite proof needed to pin the crime on any individual. The clown costume, the stolen car, the strange connection to the local costume shop all led to tantalizing speculations, but without concrete evidence, they were merely pieces of an unsolved puzzle. Simultaneously, life continued. The sorrowful echoes of Marlene's murder gradually faded into the background. Her husband, Michael Warren, moved on with his life, as did Sheila Keene. The two eventually got married in Las Vegas in 2002, adding another perplexing twist to this already enigmatic case. The clown who killed with a smile remained a haunting, unsolved mystery, yet another cold case in the annals of crime history. Little did anyone know that the advent of new forensic technology, years later, would breathe new life in the investigation. As the new millennium unfolded, remarkable advancements were being made in the field of forensic science. In particular, DNA technology had begun to revolutionize the way crimes were investigated and solved. Old, unsolvable cases were dusted off and re-examined, this time through the precise lens of genetic science. In 2014, the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office decided to reopen the killer clown's case. The balloons, the flowers, the clown costume, and other bits of evidence were subjected to new DNA testing procedures. This time, the results were different. The advances in DNA technology had allowed investigators to retrieve previously unattainable genetic profiles. One such profile led back to a familiar name, a name that had been in the mix since the very beginning: Sheila Keene. The evidence found on the costume pieces seemed to tie Sheila Keene Warren to the crime. However, it was not just the physical evidence that was under scrutiny. As investigators started digging into Sheila's past again, they found witnesses who now, after all these years, were willing to provide new testimonies. Finally, after almost 3 decades, it seemed like the veil of mystery shrouding Marlene's murder was about to be lifted. On September 26, 2017, almost 3 decades after the horrifying crime, police pulled over Michael Warren and Sheila Keene Warren, who were both taken into custody. The woman who had once worked for the victim's husband, who had married him years after the murder, was now facing charges for first-degree murder with a firearm. She was now facing life in prison. The case that had baffled investigators and captivated the nation was finally moving forward. The arrest sent shockwaves to the community, reopening old wounds and stirring up a media frenzy. Sheila went on to spend the next 6 years in prison, awaiting trial that kept getting delayed. However, in a shocking twist of events, 2 weeks before a trial was due to start on Tuesday, April 25, 2023, she pled guilty to second-degree murder. For those of you who are not familiar with these terms, the difference between first and second-degree murder is the intent or mindset the defendant had when they took the action they did. First-degree murder is defined as premeditated, intentional killings, like stalking someone before murdering them. Second-degree murder is an unplanned, intentional killing, reacting in the heat of the moment when angry, or a death caused by reckless disregard for human life. Dave Ehrenberg from Palm Beach County State Attorney's Office stated, "Sheila Keene Warren has finally been forced to admit that she was the one who dressed as a clown and took the life of an innocent victim. She will be a convicted murderer for the rest of her life." Even though the defendant had always claimed her innocence, her defense team strongly advised her to take that plea, knowing that it called for a much lighter 12-year sentence, as opposed to 25-year to life under the first-degree murder charge. The sad part for the family of the victim is that, considering the time she already served since her arrest, she could be released from prison in less than a year. After more than 30 years since Marlene was brutally taken away from her family, the killer clown case that had gone cold for many years is now closed. And although the verdict could not bring back their beloved Marlene, it provided a sense of resolution, a small comfort after years of uncertainty and anguish. The shockwaves from the revelation and eventual conviction of the killer clown reverberated beyond the boundaries of Wellington. The case reminded the nation of the often silent struggles with seemingly perfect families and the horrific lengths people could go to cover their tracks. But even amidst the tragedy, there was a testament to the power of perseverance. The case highlighted the importance of tenacity in law enforcement and the amazing potential of science to unlock truth that once seemed lost forever. As we conclude our deep dive into the chilling tale of the Florida killer clown case, we are reminded of the dualities that exist within our society. It's a stark reminder of the veneer of normalcy that can often mask darker realities, and the depth of depravity that can exist beneath the surface of seemingly ordinary lives. This case underscores the importance of unrelenting pursuit of justice, no matter how long it takes. It illustrates the profound impact of advancements in forensic technology, showing us that no case is ever truly cold as long as there are avenues left to explore. While the journey through this crime has been a disturbing one, it is crucial to remember these stories, if only to learn from them, to recognize the signs of trouble, and to relentlessly strive for justice, just like the dedicated investigators in this case. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the chilling saga of the Florida killer clown case. If you found this exploration insightful, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel, Casual Crime. We bring you detailed breakdowns of notable true crime cases from around the world every week. Remember to hit the notification bell and stay updated on our latest releases. Also, let us know in the comments what other cases you would like us to cover in our upcoming videos. Until next time, stay safe and keep seeking the truth.